Hi, everybody. Tonight we want to just talk a little bit more about equations that we've been talking about with Chapter 1 in Advanced Math. So I know that equations can sometimes be kind of hard. There's some keywords and things that we should look for that can kind of help us out a little bit and make it a little bit easier. So the first thing I want to talk about is some of these keywords. So when you're looking for keywords, one of them can usually be the word is. When you see the word is, this is almost always going to be the equal sign. So this can kind of help you split the information in a word problem to see what's going to go on each side. The next one that I want to talk about is the word of. So when we're talking about the word of in math, almost always this is going to talk about multiplication. The other thing that we can look at here is usually there will be a term or a phrase in some of them that'll say something times as many. So again, when we see something times as many, this is again going to tell us that we are multiplying. So it might say 4 times as many or half as many, and that's going to tell us that we're going to multiply. Another one is when we see the phrase a number, this is going to tell us that we need a variable. Remember, a variable is a letter that we use to stand for an unknown number. You can use almost any letter that you'd like. We try to stay away from ones that are also could be misread as a number. So try to stay away from your L's, your O's, things like that. Your S's usually aren't the best choices because they can be kind of confused with a number. Now we want to go through and talk about some problems. So the first one here says 100 students went on a field trip. 6 buses were filled and 10 students traveled to the destination in cars with their parents. How many students were on each bus? So here we can see that we have a total of 100 students. Those students are split up into 6 buses and 10 extras. So here we know that if our total is 100, we want to set our equation equal to that. We don't know how many students were on each bus. That's what we're trying to find, is how many on each bus. So the bus is going to be our variable. So I'm just going to use B for bus here. So we have 6B plus the additional 10 students is going to equal 100. So we have 6 buses of students plus the additional 10 is going to get our total. So here, again, we're going to start on the side of the variable, but furthest away from it. And we want to use our inverse operations. So when we're doing this, we can see that the opposite of adding 10 would be to subtract 10. So we're going to do that from both sides. This is that balancing the scale step. So positive 10 and negative 10 cancel. We're left with 6B equals 100 take away 10 is 90. Now, 6 and B, when there's no operation, no sign in between them that tells us what to do, that means they're being multiplied. So here, the opposite of multiplying would be to divide. So we're going to divide by 6 on each side. 6B divided by 6, we're left with B, and 90 divided by 6 is 15. So this tells us that each bus has 15 students. Now, if we look at this next one here, It says that Netflix charges David $15 per month for a membership, plus a $5 one-time fee for streaming on his phone. How many months will David have his membership for if Netflix charges him $50? So this format is very similar to some of the ones that we saw on that Google form assignment. So we don't know how many months. That's what we're trying to figure out. How many months? We know that it's $15 per month plus the $5 fee, and they're charging him a total of $50. So here we can start our equation and know that we're going to need a total of $50. If we have $15 per month but an unknown number of months, that's 15 times however many months plus the $5 fee. Now here again, if we want to go through and solve this, we can use those inverse operations. So the opposite of adding 5 is to subtract 5. 5 take away 5 is 0, cancel, so we're left with 15m equals 50 take away 5 is 45. And again here, the opposite of multiplying by 15 is to divide by 15. So we're left with m equals 45 divided by 15 is 3. So we can say how many months would he have his membership? He would have it for 3 months. Now, I'm going to pause this real quick and get some space cleaned out, and then we're going to go ahead and look at number 3. Okay, now looking at number 3. Number 3 is also similar to a couple of the problems that we saw the other day. So it says Jonathan purchased 120 pieces of candy for Valentine's Day. He gives 2 pieces to each of his friends. When he finishes handing out candy, he has 30 pieces left. How many friends did he give candy to? So we're looking to find how many friends. So that's going to be our variable. That's our unknown. We don't know that. We know that he starts with a total of 120. So we want to set our equation equal to 120. We know that each friend is getting 2 pieces. So 2 pieces times the number of friends. And then he had 30 pieces left. So what this is saying is 2 pieces per friend and his 30 pieces that he has left is going to equal his total. So we need to add this 30 pieces to the amount that he's giving away, because the amount that he's giving away plus how much he has left is going to equal our total. So here again, we can go through and solve. The opposite of adding 30 is to subtract. So we have 2f equals 120 minus 30 is 90. Divide each side by 2, and we're left with 90 divided by 2 is 45. So we know that Jonathan has 45 friends. All right, let's take a look at the next set of problems here. It says, for number 4, Rosemary had $25 to spend on school supplies. She buys 4 packages of mechanical pencils. After her trip to the store, she only has $1 left. How much did each pack of pencils cost? So this is going to be very similar to number 3. So we know that she had a total of $25 to spend. She bought 4 packs of pencils, and she has $1 left. But we need to know how much were the pencils. So here we're going to set our equation equal to 25 because that's our total amount. We know that she's going to buy 4 packs of pencils plus the $1 she has left is equal to her total. And again, same steps here. We can use our inverse or opposite operations to solve our equation. And when we divide by 4 on each side, we can find that the pencils were equal to 6. But since it's asking about how much the pencils cost, our label would be dollars because it's asking us how much were they. Now, if you look at number 5, it says William sold half of his comic book collection, then purchased 10 more. Now he has 24 comic books. How many books did William begin with? So we're trying to figure out how much he started with, and we know that he has 24. So we have to set we have to set our equation equal to 24 because that's what we're working with here. So let's set our variable here. How many did we begin with? We don't know. That's what we're trying to find. So it says he sold half of his collection. So you could say X divided by 2 because his collection was cut into half. He sold half of them. And then he purchased 10 more. So when you purchase something, you're getting it. You're getting more. And then we know it's equal to 24. So here we could subtract 10 from both sides. X over 2 equals 14. The opposite of dividing by 2 is to multiply by 2. This will cancel, and we're left with X is equal to 28 books. Now, some of you might have thought to write it like this. 1/2 of his collection plus 10 books is equal to 24. And this is the same, and either one of these would work. As long as you're working them out correctly, you're going to get the same answer. So now, looking at number 6, we have Ryan goes to the mall with his friends after school. At the mall, he purchases 4 pairs of basketball shorts and a pair of sneakers for $100. If he spends a total of $200, how much money did he spend on each pair of basketball? So looking at number 6 is again very similar to number 3 and 4. If we know he spends a total of $200, we are going to set our equation equal to that. He purchases 4 pairs of shorts, and that's what's unknown. How much is each pair of shorts? So we're going to set a variable. I typically don't like to use an S because sometimes when I get sloppy, it looks like a 5. So I'm just going to use B for basketball. So 4 pairs of basketball shorts. Plus he bought the sneakers for $100. So this is telling us that the sneakers cost $100 is equal to our total. So again, inverse operations. And we're left with 4B equals 100. Divide by 4. And we would get B equals 25. And again, it's asking us how much money. So this would be $25. Now, when we go back and look at these, we can see how there were patterns. So many of these were similar. So the more you practice writing equations, you're going to find that a lot of the formats are similar, and we can use those tools to kind of help us remember back to how we would write the equations in future problems.